Welcome on our friend Denny Carter. Denny, how are we doing? Happy Friday to you.
I'm doing better than I thought. Thank you for asking, because Javonte Williams was not a disaster for once, and I got to keep my house, which is nice. You know, we have that going for us going into the weekend.
Yeah.
That's a big win, Denny. And another nice win for us is Pop Douglas flying under the radar right now. Nobody's talking about the Patriots offense, despite Drake May making his season debut, and that potentially helping out DeMario Douglas.
Look, guys, I want you to know that my interns, I have 16 interns, live in my house somehow. They watched a combined 230 hours of cable news this week and didn't document a single mention of DeMario Pop Douglas. I think, honestly, it's shameful. I don't really know what the mainstream media is doing here. But look, he has a great matchup. He's coming off of 2 9-target games. Drake May has given a boost to everybody in this offense, especially the pass catchers. And he's facing a Jaguars team this week in London, allowing the second most fantasy points to wide receivers. They're giving up a 78% catch rate to slot receivers. And of course, as you know, maybe the mainstream press doesn't know, DeMario Douglas runs almost exclusively from the slot. He's a great start this week. I actually think that we need to be talking about him more.
Yeah, we should be.
Slot merchant, DeMario Douglas.
Slot merchant. It's a great, to your point, like, you know, Jaguars also allow the 3rd highest catch rate to the slot, Denny. And DeMario Douglas, whenever he's gotten an opportunity, feels like he's always sort of performed. Not that the mainstream media would ever tell you about that. You know, they're keeping it from you on purpose. They distract you with other headlines like, you know, like, oh, Drake May is going to start. Oh, Ramondre Stevenson may or may not come back from injury. Blah blah blah. But no one wants to talk about DeMario Douglas.
Right. All I hear about is Hunter Henry. Every time I turn on MSNBC, it's crazy.
100%. Denny, now I know that you have many online internet aliases. You go into the dark web. You're down in. You're doing all the research, bringing it to the forefront. You are shining a light on the topics the mainstream media does not want us to know, because they want us to believe there's no such thing as a streamable tight end. They want us to think that this is a position that should be, you know, canceled. You know, they're all about cancel culture. But I know you, Denny, believe that there are some streamable tight ends out there. You've uncovered them.
I'm going to talk about 2 here, and nobody can stop me. Okay, no. Don't cut my mic. Everybody in the studio there, do not cut my mic.
I won't even fact check you.
No, there'll be no fact checking.
Cade Otton, he's facing a Baltimore team this week in a potential shootout. Okay, between the Bucs and the Ravens. The Ravens are giving up 8 targets per game to tight ends, which is really solid, really good for Cade Otton. Otton has at least 6 targets in 3 of his past 4 games. I think that this is a really good spot for Otton, who's out there running a lot of routes. Look, the New York Times editorial page talks a lot about Mike Evans, talks a lot about Chris Godwin. I'm not hearing anything about Cade Otton. Again, it's messed up.
Yes, I just picked up Cade Otton in the League of Our Souls, so hoping that Mike Evans' little niggle maybe keeps him out Monday night, and then he's back at it. 4
of the 6 tight ends to face the Ravens so far this year have scored at least 9.5 fantasy points. Cade Otton also made the others receiving votes in the love list here, but you're right. When I went to look up research for it, couldn't find anything in the New York Times, honestly, or the Washington Post, or the Wall Street Journal.
Where are they?
They're all ignoring it. They're all. It feels like a conspiracy, honestly, to ignore Cade Otton.
Indeed. Denny, when I turn on my television, I see a lot of coverage about the election, the future of the nation. I don't see much about Grant Calcaterra. Can you fix that, Denny, and tell me something about the Eagles tight end?
I mean, really, we need a priority check, you know, as a nation, if we're not talking about Grant Calcaterra, who I have heard of before this past week, okay? So stop saying I haven't heard of him. He caught 4 of 4 targets last week for 67 yards after Dallas Goedert went down with an early injury. It doesn't look like Dallas Goedert is going to play this week against the Giants. And I kind of like this Giants-Eagles game as a sneaky shootout type of affair. Calcaterra is running a lot from the slot. And by the way, guys, this is something you won't hear anywhere except for here, except for Mom and Pop Shop, NBC Sports. You know, he had more receptions last week than Devontae Smith. Where's the media on that? You know, I'm just asking questions. Who is the wide receiver 2 really in this offense? Is it Calcaterra? Is it Smith? No one knows.
A lot of controversy there, but right, to your point, you're just asking questions. You're just raising your hand. You're just trying to learn. You're on a fact-finding mission, right? And that's what we should all be, just on fact-finding missions, asking questions, not just assuming this. Denny, I'm curious very quickly. I would just want to mention, here's a number of running backs that are available in over 60% of Yahoo leagues, just if you're looking for somebody potentially this weekend, if you're desperate. Antonio Gibson, Ty Chandler, Trey Sermon off the injury report yesterday for the Colts, as Jonathan Taylor still nurses that injury, Isaac Guerrero, Sean Tucker, Kimani Vidal. Any of those jump out at you, Denny, that we should shine a light on?
Yeah, well, I was going to say Ty Chandler, but the mainstream media misled us on Aaron Jones's injury, and it looks like he will play, unfortunately, according to rotoworld.com. So I don't know if you could play Ty Chandler in that situation. I guess Antonio Gibson, because it doesn't look like Ramondre Stevenson is going to start. He's involved in the passing offense, and I should say Stevenson is not going to play, it looks like. And Gibson is involved enough in the passing offense, and I think this will be a pass-heavy script against Jacksonville.
I'll also mention Trey Sermon, who was banged up but returned to practice yesterday. Jonathan Taylor still looks like he may not be able to go, so Trey Sermon against a bottom 10 run defense in Miami could be a sneaky start once again. I know he wasn't much yesterday, but last week I should say, but a better matchup for Sermon and the Colts this weekend. Listen, Denny, continue to hide out in your bunker. Continue to send out missives. We all love the posts you make on Facebook and the memes that you send, letting us all know about the Grant Calcaterras of the world. Keep up the good work, my friend. Keep up the fight for fantasy freedom.
That's right. I will. And you can bet on that, Matthew.
I will. There you go.
You can catch more of Denny live every Friday at noon for his weekly Q&A on the NFL on NBC YouTube channel. We're going to take our first break. When we're back, we preview some of the biggest games coming up this weekend with what's on tap as we take a look at the highest point totals going into the weekend.
Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBCSports.com and Rotoworld.com, and I want to thank you so much for watching whatever it is you just watched, or if nothing else, being too lazy to click out of the autoplay after this video started, after whatever it is you actually wanted to watch finished. But now that you're here, I'd like to take a moment here to ask you respectfully now, okay? I'm asking you respectfully to subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel. You'll get the latest Rotoworld fantasy news headlines, all sorts of great shows, including my own Fantasy Football Happy Hour. So go subscribe now. Again, I'm asking respectfully.